not prepared to speak to welcome anybody, but this one, on behalf of Yachad Kollel, we're zochet to have the Rav with us and the community join us tonight. There's a list that Dan gave me. I think Dan is going to thank. I just want to tell you, Dan didn't want me to say this, but everybody knows how much Dan has worked on this event. Over the last I'm sure his wife also having him all the time work on this late at night, and it's so hard. And also we would like to thank Rabbi Mansur to come to Los Angeles to be our community every year. Thank you, Rabbi, for coming. I'm going to ask Dan to come up and do the Rabbi.
Can we turn on the light?
I just wanted to go ahead and thank a couple people rather than this introduction. First of all, Nicole for itself for having us. Thank you so much. Rabbi Shemto, Rabbi Shmuel Hamza, thank you very much. Mr. Shua from Simcha Treats, all of this is him. Thank you very much, very last minute. We really appreciate it. Garza Yushi of Yushi Sushi, who really outdid himself, as you can see. And there's a couple of sponsors who really didn't want to be named, but I really want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. They really stepped up and helped make this happen. Tonight is sponsored in part in the memory of Moshe ben Yoshua, Nasser ben Rabbi HaKohen, Umayun bat Rahamim, and his son ben Moshe HaKohen. Without further ado,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. B'Shut Ka'al Kadosh. This is a little different type of venue that I'm used to. And the topic that I was asked to speak about, and since we have couples here tonight, mostly married couples, so I was asked to speak a little about Shalom, Bayit, marriage, and things of that nature. To be honest, I don't want to give you the impression that I'm some sort of expert on this topic. I'm definitely not. You could ask my wife. Maybe my knowledge comes because being a rabbi, I get to hear a lot of cases. You know, people come to me with their issues, their problems, and by hearing certain things over and over again, you can start to create, different formulas, and you can come to certain conclusions. So, what I'd like to do tonight is just tell you some of the conclusions and some of the results that came to me over the years in the rabbinate, and being married for close to 30 years as well. Some pointers on marriage. Recently I spoke in Great Neck. I'm sure some of you heard about that place. And they invited me also to speak about it. The name of the night was Life After Marriage. Which I guess implies that there is life after marriage. But before I speak about some ideas and some pointers to enhance your marriages, which is definitely worth your while, the greatest tzaddikim worked on their marriages. From Avraham Avinu and Sarah, they worked on their marriage. And we have proofs in the Torah for that. I'll bring you one proof. The Gemara says that when the guests came to Abraham on that day, so it said that Abraham told Sarah, prepare for the guests, make them cake, use the fine flour, salt it. And Sarah said, no, kemach. We use the cheap flour. And Abraham said, no, use the solid. And she said, no, kemach. And they got into an argument. It says the person kemach soleh. This was the Bayit between Abraham and Sarah. And the Gemara learns over here a lesson that from here we see that sometimes ladies, they are stingy when it comes to the guests. She didn't want to give the guests the kemach or the solid. She wanted to give them the kemach. So the Gemara says, "Mikan she'ishat sarat ayin be'orchim." What's the explanation? Our ladies are not frugal when it comes to guests. They're very generous. My wife, my mother, you, I'm sure, you make beautiful tables when you have guests. What is the depth of the Gemara that says Ishat Sarat Ayin? And I heard the explanation is because it's not that she didn't want to give the guests, but she knew that if she gives the guests the soleh, she can't serve it to Abraham tomorrow night. And she wanted to save the best to Abraham. The soleh belongs to Abraham. So therefore, the guest, she doesn't want to give him that advantage. So you see, even Sarah Emina was working on a Shalom Bayit. Another explanation, they said that why ladies don't like guests so much is not because of the preparations or the work that it takes or entails to entertain guests. Our mothers and our wives, Baruch Hashem, they're very, in Arabic we say shatra, they're very generous. However, the guest takes away the husband from the wife. And the husband has to entertain the guest, and therefore the lady feels deprived because she loves to spend the time with the husband, and now the guest robs her from that precious time. So even when the guest came to Abraham Avinu, it says, Ishat Sarat Ayin Be'orchim, Sarah felt that she's losing some precious time with Abraham Avinu. So I'm just trying to show you that what we're involved in tonight is very, very beneficial. Great tzaddikim, as I told you, worked on their marriages. There was one great rabbi called Rav Mordechai Gifter. He was the Rosh Yeshiva of Tel Yeshiva. Big tzaddik. And one time somebody saw him on Yom Kippur, almost in the afternoon, the holiest time of the year, Erev Yom Kippur, right before the Seudah. I think he was coming out of the mikveh, and they see him in the florist, and he's picking out all sorts of flowers and different arrangements. And somebody said, Erev Yom Kippur in the florist, this is not befitting for the Rosh Yeshiva. And he said, well, my wife's birthday is on Yom Kippur, and I cannot go buy her flowers on Yom Kippur. So that's how I spend every Erev Yom Kippur. I buy her the flowers and I put it on the table, and with a little card. That's a Rosh Yeshiva. So you see, nobody neglected their marriages. Nobody, just let their marriages coast. But we don't do that with anything in life. We don't let our businesses just coast. We always have to enhance them and work on them and continue tinkering it to make it better and to make it work. So it is very, very lofty that young couples here in Los Angeles get together in Elul, which incidentally Elul probably is a good time to do this. The rabbis tell us Elul stands for Ani Liduldi B'Duldi, which talks about the marriage between us and God. So therefore, I don't think there's a better time of the year to rejuvenate your marriages and come and hear some ideas. But I must give you the following introduction. The reason why I give you the introduction is because the institution of marriage in the United States of America has been secularized. It's been secularized, it's been trivialized, it's been demoralized. Marriage isn't sacred anymore in the United States. The institution has been destroyed. Even the basic understanding of what a marriage is between a man and a wife, even that becomes something that is debated in this country, which was written on the first page of the Bible, Adam and Eve. Even that now is a great controversy. So it's important for us to remember the way the Torah looks at marriage. You know, as a rabbi, I fill out marriage license when a couple gets married. And so I have to fill out the marriage license. It's from the government. And for years, the bride has to sign her name and the groom. And it says bride and the line, and then groom. And I do this all every day. And I turn it upside down. I take my pen and say, okay, see where it says bride, sign your name. See where it says groom. Last year, I have the marriage license, and I've done this 1,000 times. And I'm at a wedding, and I turn the page like upside down, and I tell the bride, where it says bride, sign your name. She says, I don't see it. Okay, she's nervous, she's getting married. I said, over here. I said, bride, just sign your name. And then underneath it where it says groom, let the Khatan say, we don't see it, Rabbi. How don't you see it? The witnesses sign over here, right? I turn it around, they changed the marriage license in New York. Because bride and groom is not politically correct anymore. So now it's called spouse A, spouse B. Well, I didn't come to speak Ketruba about LA. That wouldn't be right for me to come in and trash your town. But I could say about where I come from. So that's reprehensible. Spouse A, spouse B. And anyway, today when we have such an identity crisis, you know, maybe the groom feels that he's a bride. And maybe the bride feels that he's a groom. So that would be offensive to tell a bride, sign where it says bride. Maybe she feels more comfortable to sign where it says groom, and vice versa. So we're really going through unprecedented times. And because we live in this country, and science tells us that there's something called osmosis, and as much as you try to insulate yourself, and as much as you try to protect yourself, it seeps in, and it absorbs, and it comes from underneath the door, there's a little crack, and it comes from underneath, it seeps in, and somehow it influences us. So before I offer some tips, or some strategy, or some, technique, first we have to mehazek the hashkafa. We have to remind ourselves how the Torah and HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at a marriage. I think the hashkafa is very important. It sets the tone for what you're involved in. I don't think I ever said this in public, but I'm going to tell you now. But because it's a small group, I feel that I'll be able to communicate correctly. I think I worked it out already, the points that I want to say. So it goes like this. If you ever saw Sefer Torah, the rabbis tell us that there are 600,000 letters in the Sefer Torah. I counted them. That's why I was late tonight. The rabbis tell us that the word Yisrael is actually the Shetevot. Yesh Shishim Ribo Otiyot LaTorah. Now, if anybody is going to go home and count, you're going to be disappointed because it's really not 600,000. It's more close to like 308,000 letters. Maybe one night I'll explain to you how they make from 308,000, 600,000. There's many good answers, but take it face value. 600,000 letters, that's the way they count them. You see, because some letters are made up of two letters, like the Aleph is made up of a Yud and a Vav. So you can count maybe parts of letters as many letters. There's ways to cut the 600,000. The Pnei Yeshua on Masechet Shabbat has a whole alikud. Well, there's something else that there's 600,000 of, and that's 600,000 neshamot. There are 600,000 primary Jewish souls. That's why the Jewish people are called Yeshurim. Yeshurim is the Shetevot. Yesh Shishim Ribo Neshamot. So you have Yisrael. Yesh Shishim Ribo Otiyot LaTorah. Yesh Shishim Ribo Neshamot. And the Kabbalists tell us that all of us, without exception, our energy and our spirituality emanates from one of the letters in the Torah. Everybody has a letter in the Torah. When the Sefer Torah comes out, you're supposed to look for a letter that your name begins with. My name is Eliyahu. I always look for the Aleph. And that means you take your pinky and you try to locate the Aleph and you kiss it. Maybe you'll be lucky. Maybe you'll be able to attach yourself to that letter that represents your neshama. Well, whether you do it or not, we all find our kohot and our strengths in the otiyot of the Torah itself. When the Sefer Torah comes out, it's Klal Yisrael coming out in Aron Kodesh. All of Klal Yisrael's holiness is in the Sefer Torah. Well, the rabbis come and tell us a big secret over here. They say that when we receive the Torah, the men receive the Torah to learn it. Ladies are not really obligated to study Torah per se. Their job is to motivate their husbands to study and to motivate their children to study. They have a very important role. I could argue that their role is even more important because when God gave the Torah, He called on the woman first. Ko tomar lebet Yaakov v'taged bnei Israel. The woman received a private meeting with God before the men did, because God knew that if the women are not going to support this project of studying Torah, it'll not happen. So the women support it, promote it, facilitate it, and the men learn it. So the Mekubalim write the following. In the Sefer Torah, when we talk about the Jewish souls, the men, their souls come from the letters, the black letters, the dior, the ink, because the men are obligated to study Torah. The Jewish women, their souls come from the klaf. You see, you can't write a Torah without klaf. It's the klaf, it's the parchment that facilitates and allows the sefer to be written. You can have the most beautiful sofer with the most exquisite handwriting, but if he doesn't have a parchment to write it on, the letters cannot be written in the air. So the Mekubalim write, whereas the man, his attachment to the Torah is the otiyot. The lady's attachment to the Sefer Torah is the klaf itself. That means when you look at the Sefer Torah, you're actually seeing ish ve'isha. I'll tell you something. It just came to my mind that I read it a while ago. Somebody once came to me in the synagogue and they said they have fertility problems. They haven't had children for many years. They were having, it actually was his daughter in Israel. They married 8 years, no children. I said, I have a sikula for you. It's brought down in the books. The books bring down to donate a Sefer Torah. To donate a Sefer Torah. So he said, okay, fine. He took his money and he donated a Sefer Torah to the synagogue. To his amazement, the girl got pregnant within the year and she had a child. He then came back to me and said, what's the explanation now? The last mitzvah in the Torah is to write a Sefer Torah. The 613th mitzvah is to write a Sefer Torah. The first mitzvah in the Torah is to get married and have children. And the rabbi said, mitzvah koner mitzvah. That when you do the last mitzvah in the Torah, 613, it brings you to the first mitzvah. That's a simple explanation, but there's a deeper explanation. Everybody over here is over 18 years old, so I can explain it. I'm comfortable to say it. You know, when you're writing a Sefer Torah, it's actually producing a child, so to speak. The pen is connected to Zachar, and the ink that comes out is connected to Zera, and the cloth is connected to Isha that receives the Zera, and then it produces a Sefer. So when you commission a Sofer to write Otiyot, you're actually involved in Priyah v'Reviyah. It's a form of Priyah v'Reviyah. You're taking Dior, you're putting it on a cloth and it's receiving it, and it's producing a spiritual child. And when you do the spiritual Priyah v'Reviyah, it leads to the physical Priyah v'Reviyah. My point is to say to you that in Judaism, we look at a man as a letter in the Torah and a woman as klaf. That means marriage is the Sefer Torah. When a man looks at his wife, it's the holiness of the klaf of the Torah. I don't know if anybody's a sofer over here, but we have a lot of sofrim back in Brooklyn, and I once saw when they start to write a Sefer Torah, you know what they do? They take the klaf. The klaf is simple parchment, but they have to designate it. And they say the following: Hareni Mekadesh Et Haklaf the Kedushat Sefer Torah. Sound familiar? It's exactly what a man tells his wife when he gets married. Hare at Mekudesh Li. He's being Mekadesh the Klaf. Judaism looks at marriage as the holiest thing. It's a Sefer Torah being written. Furthermore, maybe you figured out already, I like gematrias. I like numerical stuff. And I have a hard time controlling myself. Especially when I think there's very, very good ones out there. So I did the math before I came. You know, the man is ot. Ot means a letter. Well, ot numerically is Aleph Vav Taf. That's 407. And the lady is Klaf. Well, Klaf is 100, is Kof, and Naman is 30, and Pe is 80. So that's 210. 407 and 210 is 617. Ot Klaf is 217. Now I know that number doesn't mean anything to you. But you know what you call the man in a marriage? He's called Ish. Ish is 311. And the lady is Isha. Isha is 306. 311 and 306 is 617. So therefore, Ot Klaf is the exact gematria as Ish Isha. That's Emet. That's how we look at a marriage. It's a Sefer Torah. It's a holy thing. Don't take what I'm saying lightly now. But just look at the color schemes at a wedding. What color does the Hatan wear? Black. Like the black letters. And what color does the bride wear? White. Like the white klaf. It's exactly, you're seeing a Sefer Torah being letters and klaf in front of you. And then the Hatan says, Hareat Mikudesh, he's Mekadesh the klaf. Well, if that's the case, I'll tell you something else. They say that in a good marriage, the Shekhinah rests between the couple. Ish v'isha that have good Shalom Bayit, Shekhinah should be up in the hem. You see, in the Ish there's a Yud, and the Isha there's a He. So it's Yud Keh, it's Hashem's name. And God forbid they say, but if there's no Shalom Bayit and the Yud Keh leaves, you have Esh, you have fire. I once asked a question to a big rabbi. I said, so when the Yud Keh leaves, you have Esh. Guess what? When the Yud Keh is there, you also have Esh. I mean, Ish, the first letter is Aleph, the letter is Shin, Esh. So the Yud in between, but the letters are still there, Isha. Guess what? Isha is worse because the letters are right next to each other. Aleph, Shin. So what are you telling me? Oh, Isha, the Esh is still there. You know what he answered me? He said, of course, in every marriage it's Esh. Because when God gave the Torah, it says, Mimino Esh Dat. The Torah was given in fire. And the Midrash says it was Esh Shechora al Esh Levana. God gave the Torah in a fiery law, black fire on white fire. So of course, in every marriage, there's going to be Esh, not a destructive Esh, but the Esh that represents the Esh of the Torah on Sinai. It's a constructive Esh. It's an Esh of blessing. Well, if that's the case, now I understand another ritual that we have in our Torah. If every time a couple is getting married, it's like you're writing a sefer. So that would mean that any time that there's a divorce, it's like you're erasing a sefer. Imagine somebody would come into the synagogue and he has a razor blade. And he opens the Yachad and he starts erasing the letters of the Torah. This would be the biggest vandal. This would be the biggest crime to erase the letters of the Holy Sefer Torah. We would, God forbid, we'd be obligated to make a fast for such a thing. We would have to rip our shirts, we would say the Kaddish for such a thing. The destruction of the Sefer Torah. That might explain, there's a law in the Torah that says that if a couple is having Shalom Bayit problems, the man suspects his wife that she's not loyal, and he says, you know, I don't want you to be secluded with such a fellow. I don't want you to be alone with this man. And he warns him. And then he goes to a wedding, and he's looking for his wife. Where's his wife? He doesn't see his wife. And he sees a door, and the door's locked. He knocks on the door, and his wife opens the door, and the Reuven is there alone with her. Now he has suspicion. But didn't I warn you, don't be alone with this man? No, we weren't doing anything. We were just, we were doing that type of meat together. We were not doing anything inappropriate. But he doesn't know. They go straight from the wedding to Yerushalayim, to the Beit HaMikdash. And they come into the Beit HaMikdash, and now the Kohen sees this is a marriage that now is on the rocks. The Shalom Bayit has been destroyed. And the Kohen has to restore it. Possible. And what does he do to restore it? He takes a Sefer Torah, he takes water, and he takes a razor blade, and he starts to erase the Sefer Torah's letters into the waters. And part of those letters that he erases is the name of God, and he erases it. Why is that the formula that the Sotah lady has to drink? Why not just give us some water with a blessing? Why does the Kohen have to be so dramatic and erase the letters of the Torah? Because the Kohen is telling the couple, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. A marriage that is Chas v'Shalom on shaky grounds, it's the fading and the erasure of the letters of the Sefer. And I have no doubt that husband and wife that see the Kohen erasing the letters of the Torah and putting it in the waters, is shocked. And the Kohen says, that's what you're doing. Don't be shocked. I'm only doing it to show you what you're doing in your marriage. So let that serve as a very, very important introduction. How the Torah looks at marriage. The last mitzvah of the Torah is to write a Sefer Torah And then after you write the physical Sefer Torah, then we have the marriage, which is the Sefer Torah itself, the living Sefer, which is the first mitzvah. We look at marriage as a mitzvah. When you got married, the rabbi said on our behalf, Asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav mitzivanu. We look at marriage as a mitzvah to be married. And when we do mitzvot, we like to do them in the proper way. Just like it's mitzvah to have a nice etrog on Sukkot, and it's mitzvah to have a nice talet, a nice tefillin. It's a mitzvah to have a nice marriage. We do mitzvot, we want them to be nice. So it's mitzvah to enhance your marriage. That's a mitzvah, that's a religious order. That's not considered an interruption of the service or some sort of digression or diversion. Making our marriages better is the mitzvah of Zegeli Van Bil. This is my God, and I want to enhance him. I want to do it beautiful. I want to beautify it. I want to adorn it. So, let me allow myself to tell you just some ideas. And again, in a small talk like this, we can't go through the whole gamut of what Shalom Bayit is. Although once I said, when somebody asked me for the quick answer for Shalom Bayit, I said, well, Bayit, Shalom Bayit. Yeah, you heard what I said. Bayit, just Bayit. But that doesn't always work. Shalom Bayit. So I'll explain to you like this. Maimonides has a whole section where he talks about Shalom Bayit. And he reveals to us something that today is not so obvious. But he reveals to us and he says, a man is not a lady, and a lady is not a man. And our mom was so smart, he knew he had to write that. So that there come a day where even that simple principle will be challenged. What did he mean when he said a man is not a lady is not a man? They're two different entities, they're two different creations of God, and they have different nature, they have different teva. So Maimonides writes, the man has to know that his wife has certain inborn, natural, God-given, natural tendencies. Not good or bad. No one's judging over here. These are the natural tendencies. By the way, I am judging. They must be good. Because if God gave it, it must be good. And men also have their tendencies that God gave them. Lucky is a person that knows early on in marriage what these tendencies are. Because if a person thinks that he's marrying somebody with equal tendencies, he will treat his wife the wrong way, and vice versa. His wife will treat him the wrong way because they don't understand the other person, where he's coming from or where she's coming from. I'll just give you a simple example. Maimonides writes that ladies, and this is not a weakness, ladies crave compliments, affection, and attention. That's a fact. Men, not that much. Everybody needs attention and affection and, encouragement, but men, they're more, macho, they're more, they don't need to be told, oh, you're so good, you're so good. The men are a little different, but ladies, that's the way they're wired. They need compliments, and to a lady, a compliment is very, very, of course when it comes to the husband, it's very, very, very expensive commodity to her. And she'll go to great lengths in order to garner a compliment from her husband. As an example, a lady will work to make a dinner, which is not an easy thing. Even with all the modern inventions we have, you have to buy the food, and you have to prepare it a certain way, you have to cook it, and it's a tedious job, especially that's day in and day out, it's every day. And a lady goes through this painstakingly job of cooking, and in her mind, in the back of the mind, or the front of the mind, it's all worth it. It's all worth it when the husband says, "This dinner is delicious. You're an incredible cook. I love it so much. I'm enjoying it. I cannot." And when the husband eats it with such an appetite, and then he thanks his wife, to a lady, all that work was worth it. Now, we're men. We don't think like that. To work for 3 hours to cook dinner for a thank you, I love you, it's so delicious. From a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense. So then we cannot understand how would a simple gesture like thank you is delicious, how can that do anything for somebody? So therefore we deny our wife that compliment that she's craving from the morning when she started to make the dinner, because to us we say, well, if I received that compliment, I wouldn't, if we received, let's say, a monetary voucher for the dinner, or some sort of compensation for the dinner, so that talks to men. But to say, thank you was delicious, that doesn't cut it for us. So know that difference. If you know that difference early on, and you put yourself in the other one's shoes, you say, well, what does she want? But that's an easy one. It doesn't cost so much to do such a thing. It's an easy thing to compliment your wives when they prepare these things for us. Anyway, it's ethical to do it. But now that you know that that's what she wants, that that's what she needs. Now, by the way, do not tomorrow night say, oh, the rabbi said I have to say thank you. It doesn't come out good when you have to read it on a script. Or say, I heard in the class that they said you have to say thank you. You took all the romance out of it. You took all the, all the love out of it. And it becomes just a, like I said, you're reading a cue card, clap, compliment. It doesn't work. One time we had a couple came to me, and it was the anniversary, and he learns every night. And he came to me and said, Rabbi, it's our 25th anniversary, but I have a seder every night, and my wife wants to go out. So I told him, you come to Rabbi for such a question. Your wife deserves to go out to dinner with your wife. And says, what about the learning? So you'll make it up. You'll make it up. This is a mitzvah. This is also a mitzvah. I was upset that he even asked the question, to be honest with you. And he's getting ready to go out, and he tells his wife, the rabbi said I could take you out. And she said, don't do me any favors. Don't do me any favors. Go out yourself. Go learn. I'm not interested. And it came to me and said, you fool. That's what you tell you what the rabbi said. You know what? As if you're a robot and you have no emotion and you have no care. Because the rabbi told you, and if the rabbi didn't tell you, you know that on your own. So it's very, very important. This compliments and words of encouragement. I'll tell you something else that ladies crave and need, and that's attention. It's not a bad thing at all, but that's what they need. And it's the same thing. A lady will get dressed up and she'll make herself look pretty, all for one reason: to garner the compliment of a husband. That's why they keep on changing and changing again and changing again until I never changed my clothes once. I put it on the first time, whatever it is, whatever tie I pick out. I never go up and says, oh, let me change my tie, let me change my suit. Men don't do that. Get dressed, we put on what we put on. A lady, stand in front of the mirror, but know why she's doing that. That's all, so the husband will say, wow, look how beautiful you look. That's what she's doing. But if you don't know that, so then you lose the opportunity of Shalom Bayit, of enhancing that mitzvah. You lose that opportunity, and then all of a sudden you wonder why your wife is upset, because she spent all this time making herself beautiful and you do not acknowledge it, and you do not recognize it. And then it becomes an exercise in futility. So that's a key. You have to know exactly what's expected of you at all times. Now, I will tell you something else where men make a big mistake on this, but I'm going to give you the solution to it tonight, and then it'll never happen again. Ladies, as I said, need attention. This happens a lot. I'm sure it happened to you, it happened to me. Ever happened when you're in the middle of work, you're busy doing a million and one things, and all of a sudden, wife calls. Hi, honey, how are you? Good, well, what's the matter? I'm in the store. They have drinking glasses. They have the tall ones, and they have the short ones. Should we get the tall ones or the short ones? Now, the last thing that I care is the tall or the short. I don't care if you get paper cups, to be honest. To me, this is not something that's critical. But my wife is asking me the question. So the husband answers in a very generous way, says, you know what? Get both. I'll see you later, I'm busy, goodbye. Now he comes home, and his wife has Shabbat face on. He expected to get a hero's welcome. Because what kind of husband? I told her get both. Get the big glass, get the small glass, get the medium glass. He thought that this is, very, very good. And meanwhile, it had a bad reaction. And he can't understand why. The explanation is because he doesn't understand English. He doesn't understand English. His wife wasn't asking him about glasses. That was not the question. You answered a question that wasn't asked to you, and therefore you got a bad response. So what was that thing with the big glass and the small glass? I'll tell you exactly what it is. I used to do that also when I was young, the same thing. When I saw a big rabbi, and I wanted to get, connected to the big rabbi to get a certain, his attention. So I would just pick up the whole mash and open up anywhere. It didn't matter where, and I would just find some question. I would generate some question somewhere, and I would run to the rabbi and say, Rabbi, could you explain me this? What does Rashi mean over here? Now, I wasn't asking him for the Pirush of Rashi. Now, the rabbis who didn't understand that, they would say, oh, it means this, and continue walking away. And I would feel rejected. But the rabbis who understood what that gesture was, right away they would say, what's your name, young man? And then they would put their hand on it and say, oh, that's very good, nice to see you, where do you learn? Because that's what I wanted anyway. I didn't care about this Kiddush Rashi. I used the Rashi as an in, as an opening. I have to get an opening. So it's an opening just to gain the rabbi's love and admiration for a minute. And then they walked away and they said, what did he say? He didn't have to say anything. He showed me a certain amount of affection, which we want. So the lady is not going to pull up and say, I need affection. I need attention. So she uses the glass as the in. That's the Pirush Rashi. Should I get the big glass or small? Now the wise husband says, how was your day, honey? How's things? How's the kids? I miss you. That's what she needed to hear. And then you succeeded. You have to understand the language. In marriage, the problem, I'll tell you why. Because men, we're literal. We read Gemara all day long, and we're textual people. But it says, so you ask, do you want the big glass or the small glass? That's literal. But you're wrong, it's not Gemara. You have to read the Pirush over here. What does she mean with that question? The commentary says that that's the chance for the lady. She found some excuse to call the husband to try to get a little attention or affection. So therefore, we know how to answer that. I'll tell you when I figured that out. Because one time I answered my wife, I really got that question. And I said, oh, get the tall glasses. And when I came home, she got the short glasses. I said, did you call me today? And he asked me this question. Then I realized he wasn't asking me about the glasses. Because she had on mind if she was going to get whatever she was going to get anyway. So I answered a question that she didn't ask. So that's an important one also. I'll tell you one more. And again, this is not a weakness. None of these things are weaknesses. I believe if God created people like this, it's to their benefit that they created like this. Hashem wanted people to be different and have these natures because they function in their role with these natures optimally. A lady has a different understanding of clean than a man does. What a man calls clean, to a lady is considered dirty. They have a different standard. So a lady will be tidying around and clean, and the husband will get nervous. What are you doing? Where do you have to go? It's clean. You have to know that ladies see things differently. A lot of times when I go to a hotel with my wife, for example, and we get into the room and I see this room, I said, Sandra, what a room, I love this room. And she says, it's filthy, it's filthy. And she goes on top and she takes her finger like this, look at all this dust. And why did you find this dust over here? We saw this dust over here. The maid that cleans this room every day didn't even see this dust. I didn't see this dust. No, we have to change rooms, it's filthy. So you have to know that. Now that's God given, because since the ladies are tending to the home, imagine God would put cleanliness and maintenance in the man's. We would just brush up and cover things up, and the home would never look. So that we have to respect your wife's high standards of tidiness or maintenance or cleanliness. Another thing that God gave the lady, which is her advantage. And this is, again, what I'm saying today, some of you say, well, I'm not like that. There were always exceptions. Rabbi Biton used to teach us, Lechol klal yesh klal yotzeh min haklal. That to every rule, there's a rule that there's an exception to the rule. So if you're an exception, then you're an exception, no problem. But I'm just talking generally. The way ladies understand time is not the same way men understand time. If you tell me that, Rabbi, we have a meeting at 8 o'clock. When I hear 8 o'clock, I'll tell you what I hear in my mind. 8 o'clock means to me anywhere from 7:45 to 8:07. That's 8 o'clock. Early 15 minutes, and then there's a 7-minute grace period. That's how I understand it. When you tell a lady, for example, 8 o'clock, she hears 8:30, 8:40. Know that. And it's for good reason, because she's busy with a lot of things. She's busy running a house, tending to children, so her mind translates time differently. Now, why is it important to know this? Because if I tell my wife, I'm coming to pick you up for dinner at 8 o'clock. So I come at 7:45, I come in front of the house. Now, I hug at 7:45, that's my understanding. Then I say, you know what? I did till 8 o'clock. So I'm at Sadiq, I don't hug for 15 minutes. 8 o'clock comes, I hug. But then I say, well, you know, there's 8:07, there's 7 minutes. 8:07, I hug the third time. Now you start to get nervous. 8:10, you have telephones. So So you call, Sandra, I'm in the car. Okay, I'm getting dressed. Getting dressed? Getting dressed? It's better. But you have to understand that. There were rabbis that were able to finish Shas. I'm not saying in a bad way, because they knew that. So they said, you know what, instead of getting nervous and getting angry, let the lady go at her pace, and you can do productive things in the interim. But you know where it works good for your marriage? That when 2 o'clock in the morning the baby starts to cry, who jumps up? Most of the time the lady jumps up. And she's making bottles at 2 o'clock in the morning, and she's changing pampers, and she's going around. And if she turns to her husband, the husband says, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, what are you doing? I'm not going to get up. Because the lady has such a flexible understanding of time, she tends to her children 24 hours a day. Time means no. So you want her to be, we call it the malam and azman, above the time. We want her to be that. There's a rabbi called Moshe Kollel. Moshe Kollel says, the wife in a marriage, you should look at her. She is the representation of the Shekhinah. Do you believe that? Your wife is the Shekhinah, the presence of God. And therefore he says, you have to adorn the Shekhinah with jewels. The Shekhinah has kishutim. Anytime a person buys his wife a gift, he's adorning the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah is the presence of God. The rabbis looked at a Jewish woman with such a high esteem, the Shekhinah itself. But I'll give you advice. You see here, if it comes to again nature, it's all about nature. A couple came to me, and the lady says, he doesn't buy me flowers for Shabbat. I was like, what do you have to say? He says, it's true, I don't buy flowers, but tell the rabbi what I bought you for Mother's Day. Oh, she bought me a diamond necklace. Okay, so you want $10 flowers? I bought you a $2,000 necklace. Tell her what I bought you for the anniversary. What he fails to understand, this man, is when a lady receives flowers for Shabbat, it might not be very expensive, but that indicates to the wife that the husband was thinking about her. The man doesn't think that way. The man says, flowers is a bad investment. They're going to die in 2 days. Here I bought her jewelry that will inherit our grandchildren one day. This is a real asset. Why would I buy flowers that there's no value in it? But he doesn't realize that the value of the flowers is that he indicates on a weekly basis that I'm thinking about you. Especially going into Shabbat, where our women do so much to prepare for the Shabbat, it's a very, very important gesture. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but it has a great value. Well, what about men? Men also have